This week's Haftarah, there's a question about different minhagim, about which Haftarah to read. Do we read from Hosea or do we read from Avadia? Our minhag is that we read from Avadia. The entire Nevuah of Avadia is only one parak, Chazayin Avadia. We read the entire Sefer, the entire Nevuah of Avadia. What does Avadia talk about? It talks about Edom. Edom is the nation, maybe it's Rome, maybe it's other nations. It's the nations that come from Esau. And Hashem tells, through the Navi, tells Avadia, I made you the smallest, Bozoi Atamoid, you're very despicable. You're a despicable nation. Zodin Libcha, the evil intentions of your heart, Hishiacha, made you high, made you haughty, you became full of pride because of the terrible intentions that you had. So the Koich of Miyakov from Chibin, his words are brought in the Ma'ana Shal Torah, Alexander Zusha Friedman, Hashem Yikam Dama, brings the words of what does it mean that the Edom thinks that he's so great because of his evil intentions, and Hashem says, no, you're a despicable nation, you're the smallest of all the nations that I created, and you're a despicable nation. So this is a paradox that really Hashem created him as despicable, as the smallest, the insignificant, and yet because of his evil intentions he thinks he's so great. And he explains it using a mashal. The mashal is that there was once a king who loved his son very much, but the son became sick, became ill, and needed a very strong medicine. And the son did not like the medicine. It was very difficult for him to take the medicine. What did the king do? He searched among all his servants and among all his palace staff, and he picked the most despicable, the most cold-hearted of all his ministers, and he said, you're going to be the one to deliver the medicine to my son. Oh, this man was so proud of himself. He started strutting around saying, you see, the king chose me. I'm the one that's going to feed the thing. And they said, you fool. The king chose you because you have absolutely no feeling. You have a heart of cold. You have no feelings at all. If any of us would try to give the medicine and the child would start crying, maybe we wouldn't be able to give. We wouldn't be able to force the medicine. It would be very difficult for us. So the king chose the most cold-hearted, the most despicable of all his ministers to deliver this medicine. The same thing Hashem, the Navi tells Edom, you think that just because you were chosen to be the one to punish the Jews, yes, the Jews have to go through punishment. We're in Golas and we suffer in the hands of the other nations, but not because you're so great. Hashem created you the most insignificant, the most despicable of all the nations, and only because of that Hashem said, okay, you're the one that's going to punish my people because you have no sympathy and no empathy. So then if I need to do something, I need to do something bad, I need to do something terrible, I'm choosing you, not because you're the greatest, not because you're the most honored, not because you're one of the good nations. On the opposite, to the contrary. We know that we until Mashiach comes, we're going to suffer under the hands of other nations, unfortunately, but not because anything good about them. There's no schus in them. There's no reason that they were chosen. The reason why they were chosen, Hashem chose them because they are the most despicable, and Hashem needed an instrument of pain, an instrument of punishment. That's the only reason why Hashem chose those nations. And until the day when we'll become free of all suffering under the nations, Hashem echad, U'shmo echad. Good Shabbos. Please don't forget to subscribe. You'll get the video every week by subscribing. Put a like. Thank you very much. Good Shabbos.